Hey y'all, welcome back to Building the Tour Day 2. I am building the tour as an independent artist, talking about all of the things, the good, the bad, the ugly, on what it takes to build meaningful experiences for your fans. And the next thing I want to really kind of talk about is really important that I define why I'm going on tour and what my tour is. A lot of times as an independent artist, we look up to the signed artist, the artist that has the millions of followers, the artist that can pack out arenas, and we covet wanting to be in that space so bad. Like, we see the star in us and we see another star and we say, oh, I can shine like that. Here's an idea of what I could possibly become. Right. And we skip over all these steps and we kind of get lost in the process of like thinking between somebody should be signing us or somebody should be coming along to make our careers happen or to make this dream that we desire come to pass. And honestly, that's just not been my reality. I can't say that that has not happened for other people, but for me, everything that I have built has had to be with intention around me betting on myself and choosing to grow my audience, to grow the experiences that I develop, and not wait for someone to like co-sign or say, okay, now you've made it, you can do this and you can do that. However, there is a certain time that I believe where you should and should not be touring. I would say for me, I have been wanting to do a level of touring for the last, I would say 5 or 6 years. You know, who doesn't as an artist? Like, you want to have that experience of being on the road and sleeping in the vans and like doing these long distance things where you're meeting up with fans in different cities and you're having packed out shows. And I knew that in order for me to do that, I was going to have a really, really strong audience. And so the first thing that I knew that I needed to recognize was, am I in a place with my audience? Have I built enough trust? Have I built enough connection with my audience that they would want to move from beyond their phone, pay to come and see me perform? That's a lot when you really think about it. Like, think about the concerts maybe you have attended. Maybe you're not even a concert person, right? But everybody listens to music. We all have like our favorite artists. And think about what it requires for you to put that into your day, to go and budget in your finances to be able to buy this ticket, then show up on the day that you bought the ticket, wait in the lines. And if it's just a regular concert, then you are standing up the entire time. Like, if it's no seating that you have purchased, right? If you're in the mosh pit area, you got to stand up the whole time. Niggas be stank and musty, all that. So it's a real investment, right? And so I had to think about like, okay, what do my fans need? What are their pain points? And what I realized with my fans is a lot of us have been going through a healing journey. I think that's how a lot of people find me. They find me at a transitional point in their lives where what I'm saying actually speaks to them. I recognize that my music is not for everybody. Some people don't like to feel deep feelings, and that's cool for them. I am a deep ass person and I got a lot of feelings, and I love to put that in my music and talk about my journey. And I know that there are other people out in the world that feel the same, but they may not necessarily have the words. And so as I started to think about how can I create an experience that matters to my fans, that is just beyond a concert. And here's the reason why I emphasize beyond a concert. I can't speak for everybody else, but I'll speak for me. I don't particularly love concert culture. I love going to concerts and seeing amazing talent though. But I don't like just standing up and then it's a lot of waiting and all that kind of stuff. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I'm just impatient. But I wanted to figure out, like, how do I build something for the people who I know that we've been through divorces together. We've been through transitional relationships. We've been through toxic shit. We've been through suicide and depression and trying to love ourselves. Like, how do I create an environment that when they walk into the room, they feel deeply seen and deeply connected? And I knew that that was going to have to come beyond just a concert. And that's where I started to get a little bit more creative. I think right now, as an independent artist, you have to do something that sets you apart. And instead of me trying to focus on what everybody else is doing, I really try to focus on what is most true and authentic for me. And how do I stay committed to that? You know, and sometimes it's uncomfortable because I'm like, man, I don't always want to be the healing artist, or I always want to be like, sometimes I just want to be E, right? And I get to show that when I'm on stage and I'm in person with these people. And so I started thinking about how can I curate a space where people can really be in community, that the music is the thing that might draw them, but the reason why they stay is the community, the connection, and the environment. And don't get me wrong, like, this has not been perfect. It has definitely not been perfect, but I've just been willing to dare to put myself out there. So I thought about, instead of doing a concert, let's do something that is a bit more intimate. So the first thing I did was I was like, I don't want to do just a random venue. I want to really think about where can I come bring people together that I can give them more than just the music. That has to be an intimate space. So starting out, I only did 100 people, and 100 tickets sold out. And I was very surprised because I wasn't sure that this was going to work, right? And so now we're in the second tour. I'm talking about the first tour, by the way. First tour is called The Healing Experience. And I was able to invite my fans out to an intimate gathering, 100 people. And we had snacks, we had therapy sessions in that mug where people were coming. They got to ask questions to the therapist. And then I performed some really cool intimate style music. And I realized that doing it that way felt more authentic. It felt more connected with my fans than, just doing the music, even though I know some people just want the music, and that's okay too. I just started speaking to who my core fans are, my super fans. I wanted to start out building an event for them, because I know if I can build an event for my super fans, then they're going to go out and they're going to bring other people, and we're going to grow this thing together. And so I started to think about that and figuring out, like, okay, bet, let's really expand and create an experience that people won't forget, that even as they grow in their lives and maybe they transition from listening to me, there's this moment that we've created in their lives that will be with them forever, because it was such an impactful evening. And that's always the goal. So as I started developing my online presence and thinking about my audience, the next thing was understanding that if I'm going to do something, I don't want to do something like everyone else. I want to do something that is fully aligned with me and fully aligned with my audience. Now, there's an important part that I do want to touch on as far as, when you're ready to go on tour, right? Because when you're ready to go on tour is different for everybody. I truly believe that you should be touring when you have enough people to fill in the space, when you have enough fans that can commit to showing up in the room and who are ready and willing to show up in the room. Some people look at Spotify numbers. Some people will look at like Apple Music for artists, the back end on that. I did a mixture of both. I looked at my Spotify for artists. I look at my email list. That's the goal that I have. Is I have an email list where we have about 50,000 people on the email list. And out of that, I geo-target them based on their location. And I look at the map and I say, who is all in Atlanta? Who's all in Chicago? If I got 1,000 fans in Chicago, I know I can probably convert like 10%, which is 100 people, right? If I got 2,000 fans in Atlanta, I can probably convert 10%. Which are, again, for me, my super fans. Because at this point, life is a bit challenging financially for a lot of people because of inflation, gas prices that are keep going up. Like, people are having to decide between groceries and bills and things like that. And I understood that if we were going to do this, that not everybody is going to be super invested. And so I wanted to target the people that I knew would see the value in what I'm building and is willing to make this investment. So fast forward to today and where we are with building the tour. The reason why I decided to do more of an immersive experience, which is a little bit different from the healing experience, is because, again, I wanted to kind of expand how people experience healing. I think that healing can be difficult at times, but it doesn't always have to be. Healing can be fun. It can be joyful, but overall, it is fully present. I think a part of the healing journey, which is where people struggle, is being fully present in the process and being able to sit in a thing when it's uncomfortable and also sit in a thing when it feels good and giving yourself permission to feel good, especially if you're a person that has felt trauma for a lot of their lives or hardship for a lot of their lives, right? I think healing is just a full encompassing of like your ability to be sad at times, to be happy at times, to be full, to be questioning. Like all of that is a part of the journey. Maybe healing is maybe not the right word, but y'all get what I'm trying to say. So the return immersive experience really is a cool creative way to invite fans into a space to not only just listen to music, not only be able to ask me questions, but also to have a good time. So the way I decided to set this one up is I wanted to buy into what's happening right now in the world. It's a lot of AI going on. It's a lot of like digital spaces, and I think that a lot of people are just finding fatigue in those digital spaces. And so what I wanted to do was figure out how can we utilize like the fun aspects of the digital space but then still bring them together. And so with these immersive experience, think about it like a 360 video, like screens all around you, and I get to put up my music videos and I get to put up interviews and stuff that are sharing about what you guys are seeing in real time as I'm writing this music. I'm talking about depression. I'm talking about my stories. I'm showing music videos as I'm performing so that you guys can be immersed in that. And as people are asking me questions, I will be able to answer some of those questions, whether it's how I got through faith and sexuality, or whether it's, you know, depression or anxiety, or just how am I doing? Like, what's my type? All of that stuff that everybody like to ask me. I'll be able to answer those while we are also in the space of connection. And then after the show, I'm inviting people to come to an after party in the same place where if you just want to dance, have a good time, have fun, feel connected, then this is the spot for you. And I felt like that was going to be a moment for my fans to really take their armor off, know that they're safe in the space where they can also have fun. You can have the best of both worlds. Like you got some of the favorite music that you've listened to that has changed your life. You got people that you care about that have come with you on this journey. And now you're in a space and in a community of people who you may not know, but are still connected in your journey and in your experience, because a lot of us are going through the same thing. And what I realize is that as we continue to do this, my fans let me know what they want, you know? And so this year has been about being intentional about building community, being intentional about inviting my fans into spaces that might seem a little bit untraditional to the music industry, but how can I just drive that connection deeper? And yeah, all of my fans, we do meet and greets. So the thing about me is I want to meet as many people as possible. This tour, we are expanding beyond 100 people this time. So I can't meet every single person just because there is not enough time in the bookings of the venues that we have. But it is still an opportunity to be able to meet me, to be able to connect, because I love being able to talk to my fans. I love being able to share what's on my heart. I love being able to articulate, like, you know, my gratitude and appreciation for the fans that I have. And so the Healing Experience Tour, the Immersive Tour, all of this is with the intention of not trying to be like every other artist, but thinking about where am I in my journey? Have I built enough of an audience in these different states? Have I grown my demographic enough to where I know 50 or 100 or 200 or 300, 1,000 people would show up in this one city? Have I put in enough legwork? Have I won the trust of those people? And if the answer is yes, then shoot, you ready to go on tour. And I would say this too, the last thing, and then we'll do another video. Probably in the next video, we'll talk about how to choose the right cities, how many cities should you be choosing, and knowing when is the right time to maneuver. So I hope this video was helpful. Again, if y'all like this kind of content, I'm just trying new stuff out because I do want to talk more about this. But If you like it, let me know in the comments. If you have more questions, let me know in the comments. I know one of the burning questions is like, when am I coming to different locations and stuff like that? I promise you I'll answer those in videos to come. But until then, I love y'all. Is this how you do the heart? There we go. Peace.